Captain Jake Morrison felt his ship shake as another blast hit the hull. Red lights flashed all around him in the cockpit. His hands moved fast over the controls, but he knew it was too late. The enemy had caught him. "Come on, baby. Just a little." "More," Jake said to his ship as he tried to reach the nearest planet. The engine made a bad sound and started smoking. Through his window he could see the blue and green world getting bigger as he fell toward it. The ship hit the ground hard. Jake's head banged against something and everything went dark for a moment. When he opened his eyes, he tasted blood in his mouth. His left arm hurt, but he could move it. That was good. Jake pushed himself out of his broken ship. The air here was thick and had a strange smell, like flowers mixed with metal. He looked around and saw tall trees that looked like glass. Their branches moved in the wind and made soft music. He had never seen anything like them before. Blood ran down his face from a cut on his head. His uniform was torn in 3 places. Jake checked his gun and found it still worked. He also had his medical kit and some food. Not much, but it would have to do. He started walking through the strange forest. The trees grew taller as he went deeper. Some were as big as buildings back on Earth. Their glass-like bark caught the light from 2 suns in the sky and threw rainbow colors everywhere. After walking for 2 hours, Jake saw something that made him stop. In the distance, there was a city. But this was not like any city he knew. Tall towers grew up from the ground like living things. They curved and twisted toward the sky, and they glowed with soft blue light. As Jake got closer, he saw that the buildings were made of something that looked like coral but much bigger. They were smooth and had no hard edges. Strange symbols glowed on their sides in languages he could not read. The city seemed empty. Jake walked down wide streets that curved like river paths. There were no cars or people, just silence and the soft glow from the buildings. His boots made the only sound as they hit the smooth ground. Then Jake heard something. It was very quiet, like someone breathing. He followed the sound to a large building in the center of the city. The door was open, so he went inside. The room was huge and filled with soft blue light. Strange machines hummed quietly along the walls. In the center of the room was something that looked like a bed, but it was made of the same coral-like material as the buildings. On the bed lay a person, but not a human. She was tall and thin, with skin that looked like it was made of pale blue glass. Her hair was long and silver like moonlight. Strange marks covered her arms and face, but they were very dim, almost black. Jake could see she was dying. Her breathing was slow and weak. The marks on her skin flickered like dying lights. Even though she was not human, Jake felt sorry for her. No one should die alone. As he got closer, he heard footsteps behind him. Jake turned around fast, his hand moving to his gun. An alien walked into the room. This one was like the female on the bed, but older. He wore long robes and carried what looked like a medical tool. The alien saw Jake and stopped. For a moment, they just looked at each other. Then the alien did something with a small device on his belt. Suddenly, Jake could understand his words. "You are human," the alien said. His voice was sad and tired. "I am Dr. Kale. This is Princess Lyra of the Zarathi people." Jake looked at the dying princess and then back at the doctor. "What's wrong with her?" Dr. Kale's eyes became even sadder. "She has the void sickness. It has killed many of our people over the years. Our blood is too weak to fight it. She will die before the next sunrise." Jake felt something twist in his chest. He had seen too many people die in the war, too many friends lost to enemy weapons. He was tired of death winning. "What if you used different blood?" Jake asked. "What if you used human blood?" Dr. Kale looked surprised. "That is very dangerous. Human blood is very different from ours. It might kill her faster, or it might kill you to give so much. We do not know what would happen." Jake looked at the princess again. Her breathing was getting weaker. The lights on her skin were almost gone. He thought about all the people he could not save in the war. Maybe he could save this one. "I want to try," Jake said. Dr. Kale stared at him. "You would risk your life for someone you do not know? Someone who is not even your species?" Jake nodded. "Where I come from, we don't let people die if we can help it." Set up the transfusion. Dr. Kale was quiet for a long moment. Then he moved to one of the machines on the wall. If you are sure about this, we must hurry. She does not have much time left. Jake sat down next to the bed and rolled up his sleeve. I'm sure. As Dr. Kale prepared the strange medical equipment, Jake looked at Princess Lyra's face. Even dying, she was beautiful in a way that was completely different from human beauty. Her features were sharp and fine, like they were carved from crystal. Will it hurt her? Jake asked. We will know soon, Dr. Kale said as he attached tubes to Jake's arm and to the princess. Human blood is much stronger than ours. It carries more oxygen and fights sickness better. If this works, it will be a miracle. If it does not work, she'll die anyway. Jake finished. So we have nothing to lose. Dr. Kale started the machine. Jake felt his blood flowing out through the tube. It was strange to watch his red human blood mixing with the princess's pale blue blood in the machine. The mixture turned a dark purple color. As the transfusion continued, Jake started to feel weak. But he kept watching Princess Lyra's face. For a long time, nothing happened. Then, very slowly, the marks on her skin started to glow a little brighter. Is that good? Jake asked. Dr. Kale was staring at the princess with wide eyes. I have never seen this before. The marks should stay blue, but look. Jake looked closer. The marks on Princess Lyra's skin were not glowing blue anymore. They were glowing gold, like little suns under her skin, and they were getting brighter. Suddenly, Princess Lyra opened her eyes. Princess Lyra's eyes opened slowly. They were not the pale blue that Dr. Kale expected. They were bright gold like two small stars. She blinked and looked around the room. When her eyes found Jake, she stared at him with surprise. Who are you? She asked. But Jake heard her words in his own language, even though she had not spoken English. Dr. Kale dropped his medical tool. It made a loud noise when it hit the floor. Princess, you should not be able to sit up. The void sickness should have made you too weak to move. But Princess Lyra was already sitting up on the bed. She moved easily, like she had never been sick, at all. The golden marks on her skin were bright now, brighter than Jake had ever seen on any Zerathi. They pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat made of light. I feel different, she said. She looked at her hands and saw the golden glow. Why do my marks look like this? They were always blue before. Jake tried to stand up, but his legs felt weak. The blood transfusion had taken a lot out of him. Dr. Kale helped him sit back down. The human blood has changed you somehow, Dr. Kale said. This is not normal. Zerathi marks never change color like this. Princess Lyra swung her legs off the bed and stood up. She moved with grace, but Jake could see she was stronger than before. When she reached for a water cup on a nearby table, she picked it up too fast. The cup flew across the room and hit the wall, breaking into pieces. I am sorry, she said, looking at her hands with confusion. I did not mean to throw it so hard. Dr. Kale was taking notes on a small device. Princess, can you tell us how you feel? Any pain? Any strange sensations? I feel powerful, she said. Like I could run for hours without getting tired, and I can sense things better than before. She looked at Jake again. I can feel your emotions. You are worried about me, but also curious about what happened. Jake's eyes went wide. You can read my mind? Not your thoughts exactly, Princess Lyra said, but I can feel what you feel. It is like we are connected somehow. Dr. Kale walked over to another machine and started it up. We need to run tests on both of you. This kind of reaction has never happened before in any medical records. As Dr. Kale worked, more Zerathi entered the room. They wore long robes and had serious faces. Jake could tell these were important people. One of them, an older male with silver markings, stepped forward. I am High Counselor Vex, he said. Dr. Kyle sent word that Princess Lyra was dying, but now I see her standing and glowing like a star. What has happened here? Dr. Kyle explained about the blood transfusion. High Counselor Vex and the other council members listened with growing amazement. When the doctor finished talking, they all stared at Jake and Princess Lyra. "This is impossible," said one of the council members. "Human blood should not be able to change our people like this." "But it has happened," Dr. Kale said. "Look at her. Princess Lyra is not just cured of the void sickness, she is enhanced, stronger, faster, and with new abilities." Princess Lyra walked over to Jake. When she touched his arm, he felt a warm sensation flow through him. "Are you feeling well?" she asked. "The transfusion made you weak." "I'm okay," Jake said. But as she touched him, he noticed something strange. He could understand all the Zarathi in the room perfectly, even without Dr. Kale's translation device. "Wait, how can I understand everyone now?" Dr. Kale looked excited. "The connection goes both ways. The princess's blood has changed you too. Human." Jake stood up and found he felt much better than before. The air that had been slowly making him sick when he first arrived on the planet no longer bothered him. His cut from the crash had healed completely, leaving no scar. "We need to study this more," High Counselor Vex said. "If human blood can cure the void sickness and make our people stronger, this could save our race." "But we must be careful," said another council member. "Change this big could have risks we do not understand yet." Princess Lyra walked to the window and looked out at her city. The golden glow from her marks reflected on the glass. "I can see better now too. I can see details that were too far away before, and I can hear sounds from much farther away." Jake joined her at the window. "What's the void sickness exactly?" "Dr. Kale said it's been killing your people for generations." Princess Lyra's face became sad. "It started long ago. Our people began getting sick and dying. The sickness makes our life energy fade away. Our marks grow dim and then go black. Then we die. Nothing we tried could stop it." "How many of your people have it?" Jake asked. "Too many," High Counselor Vex answered. "Nearly half of all Zarathi carry the sickness. Most die young. It is why our race grows smaller every year." Dr. Kale looked up from his tests. "The results are amazing. Princess Lyra's blood now contains elements from both species. Her immune system is much stronger than any Zarathi. And human, your blood has adapted too. You can now process our atmosphere without getting sick." "Could this work for other Zarathi with the void sickness?" Princess Lyra asked. "Maybe," Dr. Kale said. "But we would need to be very careful. Too much human blood too fast could kill a sick Zarathi. We would need to find the right amount and the right way to do it." Jake looked around the room at all the Zarathi faces. They were looking at him with hope, but also fear. He understood why. This could save their people, but it could also change them forever. "I'm willing to help," Jake said. "If my blood can save lives, then we should try." High Counselor Vex stepped closer. "Human Jake Morrison, this is a great gift you offer, but you must understand what you are asking. To help enough of our people, you would need to give blood many times. This could make you very weak, maybe even kill you. And," added another council member, "if we change our people this way, they will no longer be pure Zarathi. They will be something new. Some of our people might not accept this." Princess Lyra turned from the window. "I am no longer pure Zarathi, and I feel more alive than ever before. If this can save our dying people, we must try." Suddenly, alarms started ringing throughout the city. The Zarathi all looked worried. High Counselor Vex pressed a device on his wrist and spoke into it quickly. "What's wrong?" Jake asked. High Counselor Vex's face went pale. "Ships are coming. Big ships. They are not Zarathi ships." Dr. Kale ran to a computer and pressed some buttons. A screen showed space above the planet. Jake could see huge dark ships moving toward them. There were many of them, all in formation. "The Nexus Collective," High Counselor Vex said with fear in his voice. "They have found us." "Who are the Nexus Collective?" Jake asked. Princess Lyra grabbed his arm. Through their connection, Jake could feel her fear. "They are conquerors. They take over planets and make the people slaves. We have been hiding from them for years. They must have detected the energy from your transformation, Dr. Kale said. The golden light Princess Lyra gives off is very strong. Their sensors would have seen it. High Counselor Vex was giving orders to other Zarathi through his communication device. We must prepare our defenses, but our weapons are weak against Nexus technology. Jake looked at Princess Lyra, then at all the Zarathi in the room. How long do we have? Their ships will be here in a few hours, Dr. Kale said. Princess Lyra's golden marks pulsed brighter. Jake could feel her determination through their connection. Then we need to work fast. If my transformation can make other Zarathi stronger, we need to start now. Princess, it is too dangerous, High Counselor Vex said. We do not know enough about the process yet. We don't have time to know everything, Jake said. If these Nexus people are coming to conquer your planet, we need every advantage we can get. Princess Lyra nodded. Bring us the sickest Zarathi. First, the ones who will die anyway if we do nothing. If we can save them and make them stronger, maybe we can defend our world. Dr. Kale looked at High Counselor Vex. The old leader was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. Do it, he said. Bring the volunteers. We will either save our people or die trying. As the Zarathi rushed to prepare, Jake felt the weight of what was happening. His simple act of helping one dying princess might now decide the fate of an entire world. Dr. Kale worked faster than Jake had ever seen anyone work. He set up 3 more medical beds and prepared the transfusion equipment. The first volunteers came into the room slowly. They were all very sick Zarathi whose marks had almost gone black. These are our sickest warriors, High Counselor Vex explained. If they die from this, they would have died anyway in a few days. Jake rolled up his sleeve again. How much blood do you need from me? Less than what we gave to Princess Lyra, Dr. Kale said. We think smaller amounts might work if we mix it with Zarathi medicine. The first volunteer was a young male named Finn. His breathing was weak, and his blue marks were almost gone. Dr. Kale carefully mixed a small amount of Jake's blood with a special Zarathi healing fluid, then gave it to Finn through a tube in his arm. For 10 minutes, nothing happened. Jake started to worry that it only worked for Princess Lyra. Then Finn's eyes opened wide. His marks began to glow, first blue, then slowly changing to gold like Princess Lyra's. I can breathe, Finn said with surprise. The pain is gone. Within an hour, they had successfully transformed 5 dying Zarathi. Each one became stronger and faster than normal. Their marks glowed with golden light, and they could all sense emotions like Princess Lyra could. But Dr. Kale discovered something even more amazing when he tested their blood. Look at this, he said, showing Jake and Princess Lyra the test results on his screen. After the transformation is complete, their blood can help other Zarathi too. We do not need only human blood anymore. Princess Lyra stared at the screen. You mean I could help transform others now? Yes, Dr. Kale said excitedly. Once a Zarathi is fully transformed, their blood has the same healing power as human blood. This means we can help many more people much faster. High Counselor Vex looked relieved. This is wonderful news. Human Jake will not have to give all his blood to save our people. But their celebration was cut short. A Zarathi soldier ran into the room with panic on his face. High Counselor, the Nexus ships have arrived. They are sending a message. On the main screen, a face appeared that made Jake's blood run cold. It was a female alien with gray skin and red eyes. She wore a black uniform with sharp metal decorations. Her smile was cruel and cold. I am Commander Zara Kane of the Nexus Collective, she said. We have detected unusual energy readings from your planet. You will surrender the source of this energy immediately, or we will destroy your cities. High Counselor Vex stepped forward. We are a peaceful people. We have done nothing wrong. Commander Kane laughed. You have been hiding from us for years. Zarathi, we know your people are weak and dying. We came to make you part of our empire, but now we detect something new. Something that makes your people stronger. She paused, and her red eyes seemed to look right at Jake through the screen. We also detect human life signs on your planet. Humans are troublesome. They do not follow orders like other species. They resist our control methods. Her smile became more cruel. You will hand over the human and any Zarathi who have been changed by human contact. If you do this, we will let the rest of your people live as our slaves. The screen went black. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Princess Lyra spoke. They want to study us, she said. They want to know how the transformation works so they can use it for themselves or stop others from using it. Jake felt anger building inside him. How long have these Nexus people been conquering planets? Hundreds of years, High Counselor Vex said sadly. They are very smart. They do not just attack with weapons. They make diseases that weaken people, first. Then when a species is too sick to fight back, they come to rescue them. But the rescue is really slavery. Dr. Kale looked up from his computer with shock. High Counselor, I have been studying the void sickness more carefully. The pattern of how it spreads, the way it attacks our genetics. I think the Nexus created it. Everyone in the room stared at him. Princess Lyra's golden marks pulsed brighter. With anger. You mean they made us sick on purpose? She asked. Yes, Dr. Kale said. They have been slowly killing us for years, waiting for us to become too weak to resist. But they did not expect human blood to be able to cure their weapon. Jake felt rage like he had never felt before. These monsters had been slowly murdering an entire race of people just to make them easier to conquer. How many other species have they done this to? We do not know, High Counselor Vex said, but probably many. The Nexus Empire is huge. Princess Lyra walked to the window and looked up at the dark ships in the sky. We cannot let them win. If they learn how the transformation works, they will either use it to make themselves stronger or find ways to stop it from helping others. But how can we fight them? Asked one of the transformed Zarathi. We only have a few enhanced warriors and they have many ships. Jake was thinking hard. An idea was forming in his mind. Dr. Kale, how long does the transformation take once it starts? About 2 hours for a complete change, the doctor answered. And how many Zarathi with void sickness are in this city? High Counselor Vex looked confused by the question. Nearly 3,000. Why? Jake smiled. Because I have an idea. Princess Lyra, you and the other transformed Zarathi can donate blood to save more people, right? Yes, she said. But Jake, even if we transform everyone in the city, we cannot fight spaceships with our hands. We don't have to fight their ships, Jake said. We just have to make sure they can't study us or stop the transformation from spreading to other worlds. He turned to Dr. Kale. Can you make the transformation blood into a medicine that we can store and transport? Dr. Kale's eyes lit up with understanding. Yes. If we make it into a serum, it would stay good for months. Other worlds could use it to cure their people too. That's exactly what we're going to do, Jake said. But first we need to transform as many Zarathi as possible, as fast as possible. Princess Lyra caught on to his plan. If enough of our people are transformed, the Nexus cannot capture all of us. And if we can get the serum to other worlds, we start a rebellion, Jake finished. Every species the Nexus has weakened with disease can be cured and made stronger. Their whole empire could fall apart. High Counselor Vex looked amazed. This could work. But the Nexus will not wait for us to transform everyone. They will attack soon. Then we better get started, Jake said. How many medical facilities do you have in this city? 12 large ones, High Counselor Vex said. Good. Princess Lyra, you and the other transformed Zarathi go to different facilities. Start transforming as many people as you can. Dr. Kale, how fast can you make transformation serum? If I have help, maybe 50 doses per hour, Dr. Kale said. Do it. And make sure some of those doses get loaded onto fast ships that can escape the planet if things go bad. As the Zarathi rushed to follow Jake's plan, alarms started ringing again. On the screen, they could see small ships leaving the Nexus fleet and heading toward the planet. Attack ships, High Counselor Vex said with fear. Jake watched the ships, getting closer. How long until they land? 1 hour, maybe less. Jake looked around the room at the Zarathi preparing for the desperate race against time. Then we have 1 hour to save as many people as possible and get that serum ready. Princess Lyra came over to Jake. Through their connection, he could feel her fear, but also her determination. Jake, she said quietly, if this plan fails, the Nexus will capture us. They will do terrible things to learn how the transformation works. Then we better make sure it doesn't fail, Jake said. But even as he said it, Jake could see more and more Nexus ships filling the sky above them. Commander Kane had brought enough firepower to destroy the entire planet if she wanted to. The race to save the Zarathi people had begun, and they were already running out of time. Dr. Kale called out from his computer. The first batch of serum is ready, and I have more news. The transformation is not just making people stronger, it is making them completely immune to all Nexus diseases. Every weapon they use to weaken species will not work on transformed people. Jake smiled grimly. If they could pull this off, they would not just save the Zarathi. They would give every enslaved species in the galaxy a chance to fight back. But first, they had to survive the next few hours. The next hour was chaos. Jake ran from medical facility to medical facility, watching as Princess Lyra and the other transformed Zarathi worked to save as many people as possible. The golden light from their marks filled the rooms as they donated blood for the life-saving transfusions. At the 7th facility, Jake found something that gave him hope. 20 new Zarathi warriors had been transformed and were already standing guard. They moved with incredible speed and grace. When one of them lifted a heavy medical machine to move it, he did it with one hand. How do you feel? Jake asked the newly transformed warrior named Cole. Like I could fight 100 enemies, Cole replied. His golden marks pulsed with excitement. And I can sense things I never could before. I know where every person in this building is standing. Just by feeling their emotions, Dr. Kale rushed over with a case full of serum vials. Jake, we have enough serum for 500 people, and I have more good news. The transformation is spreading faster than we thought. What do you mean? Jake asked. Watch this, Dr. Kale said. He took Jake to a window where they could see the street below. Zarathi people were walking around, but many of them now had golden marks instead of blue ones. The transformed Zarathi are touching their family members and friends. The enhancement is passing from person to person through simple contact. Jake stared in amazement. You mean we don't need blood transfusions for everyone? Not for everyone, Dr. Kale confirmed. If a Zarathi is not too sick, just touching a transformed person for a few minutes can start the change. It takes longer, this way, but it works. Suddenly the building shook. Through the windows, Jake could see explosions in the distance. The Nexus attack had begun. They are bombing the outer parts of the city, Cole said, but they are being careful not to destroy everything. They still want to capture us alive. Princess Lyra ran into the room. Jake, we have a problem. Commander Kane is not just attacking the city. She is landing troops to search for us specifically. The medical facility's communication screen. Commander Kane's face appeared again. This time she looked angry. Zarathi people, she said. We can see golden lights all over your city. You are spreading the human contamination instead of surrendering. To us, this is a mistake. She paused and her red eyes seemed to burn with rage. We have weapons that can destroy your entire planet, but we prefer not to waste useful slaves. You have 1 more hour to bring us the human and all transformed Zarathi. If you do not, we will release a new plague that will kill every living thing on your world. The screen went black again. Dr. Kale's face went pale. A new plague? Jake asked. Can they really do that? Yes, Dr. Kale said quietly. The Nexus has weapons that can kill all life on a planet. They have used them before. When species refused to surrender, High Counselor Vex came running in with several other council members. We have been in contact with other cities on our planet. The transformation is spreading everywhere. Nearly half of all Zarathi are now enhanced or in the process of changing. That's good news, Jake said. But we need to do something about those Nexus ships before they destroy the planet. Princess Lyra grabbed Jake's arm. Through their connection, he felt her idea before she spoke it. Jake, What if we don't try to fight their ships from the ground? What if we go up to fight them in space? How? Jake asked. Do you have spaceships that can fight the Nexus fleet? High Counselor Vex shook his head. Our ships are for travel, not war. The Nexus ships would destroy them easily. But what if we don't fight ship to ship? Princess Lyra said. What if we get our people onto their ships? Jake understood immediately. You mean board their ships and fight them inside? Yes, Princess Lyra said. The transformed Zerathi are much stronger and faster than normal. In close combat, we might have a chance. Dr. Kale looked excited. And if we can capture even one Nexus ship, we could study their technology. Maybe find out how they make their plagues and how to stop them. Cole stepped forward. Princess, I volunteer to go. All the transformed warriors will volunteer. It's too dangerous, High Counselor Vex said. If you fail, you will all die and the Nexus will still destroy our planet. Jake was thinking hard. What if we split up the plan? Some of us go after the ships while others focus on getting the serum off planet. You mean send ships with the serum to other worlds while we attack? Princess Lyra asked. Exactly, Jake said. Even if we lose here, other species can use the serum to cure themselves and fight back. The revolution doesn't have to start and end on this planet. Dr. Kale nodded eagerly. I have prepared enough serum for thousands of people, if we can get it to other worlds. High Counselor Vex made a decision. Very well. I will order our fastest ships to take the serum to other planets. Dr. Kale will go with them to teach other species how to use it. What about the boarding? Plan? Cole asked. Jake looked at Princess Lyra. How many transformed Zerathi do we have who can fight? About 300 now, she said. More are changing every hour, but 300 are ready to fight now. That might be enough, Jake said. But we need a way to get onto their ships without being shot down. Princess Lyra smiled. I have an idea about that too. Follow me. She led them to the roof of the medical facility. Above them, the Nexus ships hung in the sky like dark clouds. But Princess Lyra pointed to something else. Look, she said. Transport ships are coming down to land troops. If we time it right, we can get onto one of those ships when it goes back up. Jake saw what she meant. Several smaller Nexus ships were flying down to the planet's surface full of enemy soldiers. When those ships returned to the main fleet, they could have some unexpected passengers. It could work, Jake said. But we would need to take over the transport ship without the main fleet knowing. Cole grinned, showing teeth that seemed sharper than before. Leave that to us, human Jake. We are very good at moving quietly now. Over the next 30 minutes, they put together a plan. Half of the transformed Zerathi would attack the landing sites where Nexus troops were coming down. In the confusion, small groups would sneak onto the transport ships. When the ships returned to the fleet, the Zerathi would take control of them from the inside. Meanwhile, Dr. Kale and 20 other Zerathi would escape in fast ships carrying the transformation serum to other worlds. Even if the attack on the fleet failed, the revolution would spread. What about you, Jake? Princess Lyra asked. Will you come with us to attack the ships? Jake thought about it. He was not enhanced like the Zerathi. He would be the weakest person in the attack, but he also knew the Nexus wanted him specifically. I'm coming, he said. If Commander Kane wants me so badly, maybe I can use that against her. Princess Lyra took his hand. Through their connection, he felt her worry for him, but also her gratitude. Then we go together, she said. As the sun set on the Zerathi world, 3 groups prepared for desperate missions. Dr. Kale's ships would try to escape the planet with the serum. The transformed warriors would attempt to board and capture Nexus ships, and Jake and Princess Lyra would try to reach Commander Kane herself. High Counselor Vex gave them all a final blessing. Whatever happens tonight, you have already saved our people. The transformation cannot be stopped now. Even if we lose this battle, the Zerathi will survive and grow strong. Jake looked up at the enemy fleet one more time. In a few hours, they would either win an impossible victory or die trying. But either way, the galaxy would never be the same. The age of Nexus dominance was about to end one way or another. As the first explosions lit up the night sky, Jake felt Princess Lyra's hand tighten around his. Through their connection, he felt her determination flowing into him. They were about to attempt something no one had ever tried before. A handful of enhanced aliens and one human against an entire space fleet. But somehow Jake felt like they might actually win. The attack began at midnight. Jake watched from a hidden position as Cole and 50 transformed Zarathi warriors moved like shadows through the darkness. They reached the Nexus landing zone where enemy soldiers were setting up equipment. The battle was over in minutes. The enhanced Zarathi moved so fast that the Nexus soldiers could barely see them. Their enhanced strength let them tear through the enemy's armor with their bare hands. Not a single transformed warrior was hurt. "Transport ship incoming," Princess Lyra whispered. She pointed to a dark shape descending from the fleet above. Jake and 20 Zarathi warriors ran toward the landing ship. As soon as it touched the ground, the transformed warriors attacked the crew inside. Within seconds, they had control of the vessel. "Can you fly this thing?" Jake asked Cole, who was now at the pilot controls. "The controls are similar to our ships," Cole said, "but this is much more advanced." His golden marks pulsed as he concentrated. "Wait, I can sense how it works. The transformation is helping me understand their technology." The ship lifted off smoothly. As they rose toward the Nexus fleet, Jake felt his heart beating fast. This was the most dangerous part of the plan. 5 enemy ships approaching," Princess Lyra said, looking at the scanner. "They want to escort us back to the main fleet." "Perfect," Jake said. "That's exactly what we want." The transport ship flew into the center of the Nexus fleet. Jake could see dozens of huge warships all around them. Each one was big enough to destroy a city. But he also noticed something important. "Look," he said to Princess Lyra. "The ships are all close together. If we can cause enough damage to one ship, it might damage others too." Princess Lyra nodded. Through their connection, Jake felt her mind working on a plan. "Jake, I need you to do something that might sound crazy." "What?" "I want you to surrender to Commander Kane. Ask to meet with her face to face." Jake stared at her. "That does sound crazy. She'll probably torture me or worse." "Not if she thinks she can learn from you," Princess Lyra said. "Remember, she wants to understand how the transformation works. If you offer to tell her everything, she will want to hear it personally." Jake understood. "While I'm distracting her, you and the others can take over more ships." "Yes, and there is something else." Princess Lyra touched his arm. "Our connection works both ways. Even if we are apart, I can sense where you are and how you feel. If you are in danger, I will know." The transport ship docked with the largest Nexus vessel. Jake took a deep breath and walked toward the airlock. "See you soon," he said to Princess Lyra. "See you soon," she replied. Jake was met by 6 Nexus soldiers in the docking bay. They were tall and strong, with gray skin and red eyes, like Commander Kane. They pointed weapons at him but did not shoot. "Human," one of them said. "Commander Kane will see you now." They led Jake through the ship's corridors. The Nexus vessel was dark and cold, with black metal walls and red lights. Everything about it felt designed to intimidate and frighten. Commander Kane was waiting in a large room filled with computers and screens. When she saw Jake, she smiled her cruel smile. "So," she said, "the famous human who ruined my plans. You are smaller than I expected." "And you're exactly as ugly as I expected," Jake replied. Commander Kane's smile disappeared. She nodded to one of her soldiers who hit Jake in the stomach. He doubled over in pain but did not fall. "You will show respect," Commander Kane said, "or you will suffer." Jake straightened up slowly. "I'm here to make a deal." "You are here because I allow it," Commander Kane corrected. "What kind of deal?" "I'll tell you everything about how the transformation works," Jake said. "The science behind it, how to replicate it, everything. But in exchange, you let the Zarathi live." Commander Kane laughed. "Why would I agree to that? I can simply torture the information out of you." "Because torture won't give you what you really want," Jake said. "You want to understand human biology. You want to know why we're different from other species. That kind of knowledge can't be forced out of someone. Commander Kane walked closer to Jake. Her red eyes studied his face carefully. Interesting. Yes, humans are problematic for us. You resist our control methods. You do not break as easily as other species. That's because we evolved differently, Jake said. Earth is a death world. Everything there tries to kill you. Plants, animals, diseases, weather, everything. Humans had to become tough just to survive. As Jake talked, he could feel Princess Lyra in his mind. She was moving through the ship, with the other warriors taking control of key systems. Through their connection, he knew she had already captured the ship's weapon controls. Tell me more, Commander Kane demanded. Human blood carries antibodies that can fight diseases you've never seen, Jake continued. Our immune systems are like armies compared to most species. When you mix that with Zarathi genetics, you create super soldiers, Commander Kane finished. Yes, I can see why this would be useful. But here's what you don't understand, Jake said. It's not just about being stronger or faster. The transformation changes how people think. It makes them impossible to control or enslave. Commander. Kane's eyes narrowed. What do you mean? I mean your empire is finished, Jake said with a grin. Suddenly, alarms started ringing throughout the ship. Commander Kane spun toward her communication panel. On the screen, she could see explosions on other ships in her fleet. What is happening? She demanded. Her soldiers were shouting reports. Ships 7 and 12 are under attack. We're getting reports of boarders on multiple vessels. Commander Kane turned back to Jake with rage in her eyes. You planned this. This was a trap. Yes, it was, Jake said. And it's working better than we hoped. Through his connection with Princess Lyra, Jake could sense what was happening throughout the fleet. The transformed Zarathi had taken control of 5 ships already. They were using the Nexus's own weapons against them, but the best part was still coming. There's something else you should know, Jake told Commander Kane. While we've been talking, Dr. Kale and his team escaped your blockade. They're carrying transformation serum to every world in this sector. Commander Kane went pale. Impossible. We had all escape routes covered. You covered the routes you knew about, Jake said. But transformed Zarathi can sense things you can't. They found paths through your fleet that your sensors couldn't detect. On the main screen, Commander Kane could see the battle raging around her flagship. Nexus ships were firing at each other as the transformed warriors took control of more vessels. Even if some of my ships are compromised, I still have enough firepower to destroy the planet, Commander Kane said desperately. No, you don't, Jake replied. At that moment, Princess Lyra's voice came through the ship's communication system. Commander Kane, this is Princess Lyra of the Zarathi. Your weapons are now under our control. Surrender, and we will spare your crew. Commander Kane screamed in frustration and pulled out a weapon. She pointed it at Jake. I will kill you and then destroy everything. But before she could fire, Jake felt a surge of energy through his connection with Princess Lyra. Suddenly, he could move faster than he ever had before. He dodged Commander Kane's shot and grabbed her weapon. How? Commander Kane gasped. The connection works both ways, Jake explained. Princess Lyra can share her enhanced abilities with me when I need them. The battle lasted 3 more hours. When it was over, the transformed Zarathi controlled most of the Nexus fleet. The few remaining enemy ships fled into deep space. Commander Kane sat in her own prison cell, defeated. This is not over, human. The Nexus Empire is vast. Other fleets will come. Let them come, Jake said. By then, half the galaxy will be transformed and immune to your diseases. Your empire is built on making people weak and afraid, but we're making them strong and brave. 6 months later, Jake stood on the observation deck of a captured Nexus ship that had been converted into a medical vessel. Through the windows, he could see Princess Lyra directing the transformation of refugees from 12 different worlds. The serum that Dr. Kale had developed was spreading across the galaxy faster than anyone had imagined. Species that had been enslaved for generations were becoming free. The Nexus Empire was collapsing as their control methods stopped working on transformed populations. How many worlds now? Jake asked Dr. Kale, who was reviewing reports from across the galaxy. 47 worlds have received the serum, Dr. Kale reported, and the number grows every day. The transformation is spreading from species to species. Some are even developing their own variations that work better for their biology. Princess Lyra joined them at the window. Her golden marks were brighter than ever, and there was something new in her eyes when she looked at Jake. "There is something I need to tell you," she said quietly. Jake felt a strange emotion through their connection. It was joy mixed with nervousness. "What is it?" Princess Lyra took his hand and placed it on her stomach. The transformation has had one more effect that Dr. Kale did not expect. Jake's eyes went wide as he understood. "You're pregnant?" "Yes," Princess Lyra said with a smile. "Our child will be the first true hybrid of human and Zarathi genetics. Dr. Kale says the baby will have abilities that neither of our species has ever had." Dr. Kale nodded excitedly. "The child will be able to transform others just by touching them. No serum needed. And the mental connection abilities will be much stronger.